Donald Trump is at it again, baby. Because there's no way that he could lose. Even though he's constantly losing, whether it be elections or court cases or going bankrupt in businesses or just ripping people off and failing every which way you look. It can't be because of him. It's always because of other people, which obviously is the hallmark of narcissism. And Donald Trump is about as narcissistic as anybody we've ever seen before in our lives. So let's go ahead and check out what he has to say about Pennsylvania because early voting numbers are not looking good for the former president. They really are not looking good for Donald Trump. It's looking like the Democratic base is very mobilized. There's a sizable chunk of Republicans who either are not going to vote or are going to vote for Kamala Harris, and he does not have the independent vote. The majority of that is going to Kamala Harris. And of course, the gender gap is insane. It is absolutely massive. Not looking good for Donald Trump. So, he's throwing out his excuses now because Pennsylvania is a must win state and it ain't looking so good. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what he has to say. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump called for the prosecution of entities he claimed were cheating big in Pennsylvania in a Truth Social post on Thursday that was at once strident and vague. Well, of course, because that's how Donald Trump does it. He says, "We caught them cheating big in Pennsylvania. Must announce and prosecute now," argued Trump in the post. "This is a criminal violation of the law. Stop voter fraud. Check out Kamala's new sleazebag lawyer. We are on all of them this time. Who would have ever thought that our country is so corrupt?" Well, Donald, pretty much anybody who knows anything about America knows that this is a very corrupt nation. So that's not new information. That's nothing new. We've known this for quite some time. But generally speaking, it's funny to watch the kettle call, whatever that saying is, the pot calling the kettle black or whatever. Because this is one of the most corrupt people we've ever seen in our lives. The only thing that he did during his presidency, other than absolutely bungle and mishandle the pandemic response, is give the biggest tax break to corporate America that this country's ever seen. That is literally all he did. Oh, and the endless tweets, lies, and golfing. But he knows he's going to lose, so he's calling it now. So let's go ahead. So this has something to do with some ballot count or something or whatever in Lancaster and York counties. He goes on to say, "Wow, York County, Pennsylvania received thousands of potentially fraudulent voter registration forms and mail-in ballot applications from a third-party group. This is on top of Lancaster County being caught with 2,600 fake ballots and forms, all written by the same person. Really bad stuff. What is going on in Pennsylvania? Law enforcement must do their job immediately. Wow." And, obviously, voter rolls are always in flux. We look at Texas, we look at these states where they'll just like purge hundreds of thousands of people. And a lot of the time that's pretty standard. And we'll go on to read this too. A lot of the time, like this, people pass away, so they'll purge those voters from it. People move. All types of stuff happens to where you have to stay on top of your voter registration. At the end of the day, it's up to you to stay on top of that. In York County, officials are reviewing thousands of voter registration forms and mail in ballot applications delivered to them by Field Plus Media Corps, a progressive political firm. In a statement, York County President Commissioner Julie Wheeler has explained that, quote, "As with all submissions, our staff follows a process for ensuring all voter registrations and mail in ballot requests are legal. That process is currently underway. If suspected fraud is identified, we will alert the district attorney's office, which will then conduct an investigation. We will have no further comment until our internal review is completed." Quote, "It is not unusual to get large stacks of voter registrations or large stacks of requests for mail-in ballots. It's just this was an overabundance of registrations from one particular organization." In an update on Wednesday night, the county's Board of Elections said that out of 3,000 flagged applications, 47% had since been approved. 29% were marked incomplete and 24% were declined. Again, last time, despite the fact that they said, "Oh, they stole the election," if that was true, then Fox wouldn't have had to pay nearly $1 billion to, I'm blanking on the name of the company right now. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. Dominion is what it was, to Dominion. They had to pay over $700 million to Dominion, which is why Tucker Carlson is no longer an anchor at Fox News. That's why he's not there. But again, this type of stuff is normal. We're on top of this. We've been on top of it. And the funniest thing to me about all of this, right, is that, you know, America, we've been having presidential elections for over 200 years now. We We've been at it. We know how to do it. America has risen to the most powerful nation in the history of civilization. We didn't just get there off of a whim. We didn't get there accidentally. We got there because at the end of the day, this country is serious business. Obviously our military is a motherfucker, and also our business and our economy is a motherfucker. So we're not some lackadaisical, sloppy country. People want to come here for a reason. But I say all that to say, over 200 years of presidential elections, but all of a sudden, when Donald Trump comes along, now we don't know what we're doing. Now we don't know how to count anything. Now we have all these undocumented immigrants voting. Now, we just have to make excuses and explanations for why Donald Trump didn't win. Keep in mind that when he won against Hillary Clinton, he still lost by 3 million votes, and Hillary Clinton was uniquely unpopular. And then we go into 2020 and now we don't know how to do elections because Donald Trump lost. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump would not be freaking out and complaining like this if he thought that he was in a good position, because the truth is that he is not. Hey now, thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and really helps to support what we do here.